Hi, it's Simon. As you can see, had a bit of a shave today and preparing for a conference call in about half an hour. We have a partners call at the moment going on. We're actually dealing with current partners, working with them, catching up all over the world, and also talking to people who might become partners moving forward. And in the last 24 hours, what I've been really present to is the gap in myself and in others about how we think we listen and speak, how we think we're ready, and how much we forget. There was a really interesting talk yesterday about uncertainty, and those that know my work with Chaos to Clarity, what we love to do, I love being certain. There's things I know that I know that I know, and then we forget that we might not. And it's interesting that, right? It's interesting how much life doesn't happen as we plan. One of my mentors used to have a joke. It was, you know how to make God laugh? Tell her your plans. And that today is both funny and not funny to me. I think the challenge is we like to have plans. We like to have things that are going to work the way we think they're going to work out. And often life isn't like that. This morning, within 2 hours, the internet had gone down for me and most of the area because one of the exchanges here in Tunbridge Wells had some errors. Now, luckily, we handled it, got round it, and didn't need the internet at that time. But that happens, right? The phone lines get taken out, power cuts happen, and that happens all over the world. And we don't generally have triplicated backups. I mean, if we do, even those have problems. My banking days, I remember talking about disaster recovery, and it wasn't until I left all that space and met some interesting people in the creativity sort of groups we work with that talk about a whole different approach, disaster avoidance versus disaster recovery. And even then, you can't predict the unpredictable. You can think there might be something brittle happening, like the book The Black Swan talks about, and that whole process. And the fact that you can't imagine it is the challenge. And often it isn't a complicated thing, it's a very simple thing that can cause all the problems. One of my friends, James, used to talk about me being like the oil when you get given a new car. So you might have a brand new Ferrari, you might have all that going on, but if you haven't got that oil, you're not going to go very far. And yet generally don't check it when you get in the car, right? You assume it's okay. And it's those assumptions that take us out. So I got to talk to somebody today who knows a lot of people. In fact, I was nervous to talk to them because of how many people they know that know me. But actually, when we got to talking, they had had a similar experience, and actually that built a very quick trust with each other because we have a similar value set, a similar experience set, and can actually see synergies there. So I'm very excited about forwarding that conversation. As you can see a little bit better today, thank you for Mum, who is also a doctor and is my mum. And thanks to her, I'm feeling a lot better than I was. And also a couple of friends who were just amazing at both being support, listening, which is a magical skill. The talking group is essential, I think, to learn how to listen, speak, and really hold space with people, but also have some skills in the area of health and metaphysics. And so I know that I'm better. Why I'm better, I don't yet know, and I'm hoping it carries on. That's my covenant, my commitment is to get healthier and make a big difference to myself, and also be gentle with myself. I found myself being a lot gentler than I used to be. What I mean by that is I've got a big to-do list. I'm learning to prioritize differently, and I've been around prioritization a lot. I'm talking quickly because I'm excited today. That's why. And I also know there's a lot of stuff we could do, right? A lot of things I could be saying. So how do we prioritize? Why and how do we do that? Who do we connect with? And somebody called Justin, who I hope you might come to meet in the future, he was talking about letting our conscious brain getting let go. The grey brain is really good, but it's actually not always the answer. And I know that. I'm very into intuition, but often the linear, the logic can get in the way of that sort of the heart or the other ways we operate. And the fun things in life often outside, they happen outside of what we expect. They happen outside of what we predict. So why I love jazz, I love great music, great plots, great stories, even the great sagas, the great classics. They have these unexpected twists that you never think. And that's often, I think, the real definition of creativity. Not just having an idea, it's having an idea that nobody else would often have. And then learning how to actually share that, or have others go, wow, that's amazing. And that aspect of wow and wonder has been a big part of the last 24 hours and stepping into the unknown again. So thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye for now.